All right, hello grade 7. So these videos are going to get recorded after every lesson that I think sort of needs a wrap up as a bit of a way for you to sort of either get some support if you're struggling or to check through what I really wanted you to get out of the different lessons that I post. So they're going to be like 6 to 8 minutes long, probably, just sort of covering what the material that the lesson covered. So this is the fractions lesson 1 lesson, and it really just wanted to sort of introduce and remind you what a fraction is and sort of how it works. So the first thing I did was talk about giving you how to screenshot, and being able to screenshot or copy paste is really going to be useful for you as we do this digital learning. If neither of these worked or they were annoying and you're on a PC, finding this tool right here, this snipping tool. And if you're on a PC or I think a Chromebook, you can just look it up on your, just search for it on your computer. It's a really great tool because you can literally just click the new button, highlight a section you want, and it makes a little picture of it. And then you can just copy that picture. So that's something to really look for as a useful tool to use for copying and pasting. All right, so fractions lesson 1. All right, so remembering all a fraction is a part of a whole. So if we are to visualize this, the whole that we're going to sort of start with is the idea that a whole is a yellow hexagon, and then we can have different parts. So a red trapezoid is a half because 2 red trapezoids would fit in the yellow hole. So 2 is the denominator, 1 is the top. The blue rhombus would be a third because 3 of these would fit in the hole. So 3, it's a third of the whole. And the green triangle would be a 6 because it's a sixth of a whole. Obviously, there's lots of other fractions. This model here just happens to work really well for half, thirds, and sixes. All right. So yes, so compared to the denominator, how many fit in, la la la. So then our first activity was to use the pattern blocks on this page, and I gave you some different options to build. So the first one, 2 reds, a blue, and a green. If you drag down 2 reds, a blue, and a green, the question was how many holes, which are one of these yellows, can I make out of that? So the only way I can make a hole out of this combination of pieces is these 2 reds. So if I flip this, if I flip this red over, and then I put this one on top, that makes a hole. Okay, these 2 pieces would just be extra and don't create a full hole more. They create a half because it's the same as one of these, but they do not create a hole. All right, so for the first one here, your answer would have been 1 hole. All right, and just so you know, the answer for number 2 was 3 holes, and for number 3 was 4 holes were able to be created. Most of that was done really well. Okay, so the Bacana question was really just talking about how can you take an hour or a whole and divide it into pieces. So if somebody ran for 1/3 of the time and walked for 1/6, what would be the fraction for how much they could run to complete a full hour? So I created that over here. So the blue piece is her running for the third, the green piece is her walking for 1/6, and the yellow is what would remain. And so what the question is, what would fit in the yellow? And obviously the only piece that would fit in the yellow would be one of our red pieces, one here, one of these. All right, so the yellow space she has to fill is also a red piece, or 1/2. So in total, she would run for a red piece and a blue piece. So a red piece is a half, a blue piece is a third. Since these can't be put together easily, okay, so a red piece and a blue piece kind of look like this, we can think of it instead of how many of these green pieces can fit in. So that would be 1. I can put another one there, that's 2. You have another one there, that's 3. Another one here, if I flip it over, is 4. And then another one here is 5. Ooh, that's kind of ugly. So the red piece and the blue piece is the same thing as 5 green pieces, all right? So 1/2, which is our red piece, plus 1/3 is equal to 5/6 of an hour. So she walks for 1/6 of an hour and she runs for 5/6 of an hour, right? So that's what I sort of wanted you to come up with for that. And then using that, I wanted you to come up with another schedule of running and walking and have that whole thing add to an hour. So what are other combinations you could do using the red, blue, and green to get it to add up to an hour? And I saw lots of different examples, and those were all really well done. So then I just asked you to do a little bit of your own problem creating. Again, I really liked some of the art that would come up with. Remembering anytime you have something like 2/2, that can be still written as a fraction. So 2/2, which are these two red pieces here, is 2/2, but that's really just the same thing as 1/2. So 2/2 and 1/2. And when you have wholes and extras, we call those mixed number fractions. So 1 4/6. So that's the 2/2 that make up the fish body, and then the 4/6 that make up the fins. That's what that is if you didn't know. So that's 1/2 and 4/6, and 4/6s, 4/6, hard to say, can be reduced or be the same thing as 2/3. So there are my 4/6 right there. And then it's the same thing as 1/2. Okay, they're just equivalent fractions. So that's what we're kind of trying to remember. All right, so your art would have been put here. Again, I liked a whole bunch of different art that you said. And then that's about it. So the feedback here, please, for all these feedback things, give me feedback. I want to know. But also know if you're going to tell me that you don't know how to do something, then I'm going to need more information and I'm going to be following up with you because that's sort of the point. I want you to be able to do the stuff, and so that's why you're being asked to do it. And then some of the extension stuff will be posted at the end of every lesson. Always something to check out if you have some extra time, okay? All right, I'll be back with the next lesson. Hope this was helpful. I'll see you soon. Bye.